Welcome to 2026 Capricorn. Dadhichi here from astrology.com.au. I'm going to go through some of the highlights of the coming year. First, also apologies for the late delay. I wasn't well. I've been suffering some nerve trouble in my arm, which doesn't allow me to sit for very long periods at all at the computer. Hence the image and just my recorded voice for now. Pluto's job is to destroy, to kill. But its job is also to rebuild. And so this year I'd call for Capricorn the year of great consolidation. From 2008 to 2024, that was Pluto's job, to really demolish what you'd gained in a way, to help you integrate the lessons and build something new on the rubble of what was destroyed. That's this year, 2026. And with Saturn and Neptune activating your fourth house, Jupiter expanding your philosophical and partnership sectors, and the nodes shifting your focus from communication to resources, you're going to have to establish a very firm foundation that can support the empire that you're wanting to build. January and February, communication, resources, and some sort of family awakening. The North Node is moving through your third house. Third house is your siblings, neighbors, the way you think. It's the drive, energy, and courage you have to act upon your thoughts. It's a karmic influence. And more you're going to find yourself getting grounded. That's your star sign signature anyhow, right? Earth sign. But you certainly this year do not want any hint of airy-fairy nonsense. You want to ground everything now. And that's going to be particularly true when Saturn and Neptune influence the fourth house, which I'll tell you about in a minute. Jupiter continues its transit through Cancer. That's the marital sector of your horoscope, your partnerships, and that includes your business partnerships as well. You're learning that collaborating is the secret of really achieving bigger and better gains. The right partner doesn't hold you back either. They're going to help augment your efforts. Saturn will remain in the third house until February 13, but just before that, on January 26, Neptune will enter this fourth house. This is the beginning of a 14-year transit related to your family, to your home life, real estate, assets, all sorts of different assets that you can acquire during this cycle. The resultant impact on your life because of these transits indicates that some Capricorns will buy homes during this conjunction. Others will feel that they have to go back into their past and heal family wounds. Don't be afraid to do that, because it's going to clear the decks for a much better relationship with family members. Now in March to May, there's a philosophical release and an uplift in terms of your resources. And that's because, firstly, the total lunar eclipse in Virgo on March 3rd falls in your 9th house. That brings a culmination to the cycle involving your beliefs, education, and if you've had some travel plans, an opportunity to rethink that. Something about your worldview and your relationship with the higher powers reaches completion as well. This eclipse releases the need for perfect understanding before taking action. You can go on your intuition. In other words, trust your gut. Jupiter continues expanding your partnerships. And so now you'll understand that collaboration is intended to make your life much richer. You're building alliances that are going to support you in future. There's a spring equinox on March 20, and that finds you philosophically open, but at the same time emotionally grounded. You might not have all the answers, but that's okay, because you're starting to feel comfortable with the unknown. Uranus enters Gemini at this same time, around April 25th actually. It moves into your 6th house of work, the relationships you have with your co-workers. It has to do with your health and daily practices. Be careful of your nervous system during this period, because Gemini is ruled by Mercury and rules the nerves, and Uranus can be quite explosive in this area. Also, your routines will be thrown into a bit of chaos. You need some unconventional approaches to both your health, your work, and your scheduling. In June to July, a philosophical expansion and a resource shift takes place when Jupiter enters Leo on June 30th. That shifts into the 8th house of shared resources, intimacy, and transformation. This is after a year in this relationship sector. Now it's time to look at what this 8th house brings in terms of opportunities. That is, it involves other people's money, inheritances, investments, loans, grants, and the question of retirement. Your financial situation improves not just through your own efforts, but through what you share and receive from others. On July 26th, the nodes shift, and your karmic direction is again going to take a completely different direction. The North Node enters Aquarius. This is a finance sector, so this is going to increase your desire for financial security, and the South Node in Leo is going to affect that shared resource we talked about, tying up loose ends in your past associated with loans and shared projects that involve other people's money. So your soul's growth happens over the next 18 months, and that's going to happen through developing your own resources, building self-worth that doesn't depend on others. And you're releasing that South Node energy in the 8th house. So this is an extremely spiritual segment. The 8th house is all those psychological blocks from your childhood. This South Node is going to release that, so you can finally get rid of that, you know what they call it, baggage. Jupiter is going to tell you to deepen your intimacy and study your shared resources. And the South Node says yes, but keep it spiritual at the same time. You need a balance between both of these components of your life. In August, there's an annular solar eclipse that's going to happen in Aquarius, the finance sector again. So that's only going to add further influence to the financial sector that we've been talking about. The total solar eclipse in the 8th house. You see this 2nd house, 8th house theme coming through for you. 2 weeks later, there's a partial lunar eclipse in Pisces. That's your 3rd zone. That's got to do with communication, going to be learning focus, and you've been developing this since the early part of 2025. In September to December, it's a time for resource building and becoming more innovative in your daily life. Jupiter in Leo continues to expand that 8th house shared resource concept we're talking about. It's also going to help illuminate these psychological nooks and crannies. So it's a transformation that can take place at this time. Uranus in Gemini, that's your 6th house. Again, focuses you on your work and health routines. You've got to try some unconventional approaches to health and be open to the possibility of blending conventional and holistic medicine to get the right balance to make you feel better. Saturn and Neptune will continue in your 4th house. This has to do with your family. We've talked about that. You have to structure some of the vision you have, and you may have to become a little more patient because Saturn slows things down and doesn't provide you with the satisfaction you want immediately. Pluto in Aquarius, it's going to revolutionize all that financial area. That again is just going to be another layer on top of what we've been talking about. So, Capricorn, 2026, as I said, is a year of consolidation, after years of Pluto's destruction in your sign. The first half focuses on working on your communication and releasing your best ideas without feeling that you have to somehow prove anything to anyone. You establish an emotional and domestic foundation through the Saturn-Neptune conjunction in your 4th house. The 2nd house is activated through Jupiter in the 8th house and the position of Pluto in the 2nd house. So you have to do things that are transformative to take your financial status to the next level. Build something lasting. Don't be scared to break it down, to build it back up. This year, it's about building what you've dreamed of, but doing it in a slow, systematic way. That's both your finances and also your relationships. Good luck with it, Capricorn. I'm looking forward to your company over the coming 12 months. I'm going to be here monthly, giving you a more detailed account of what's happening month by month. Take care. Till I see you again, look after yourself.